Fluffy. Hi everyone, it's new. I'm very sleepy. Gosh. It's so cute. Look at Bakari, he's so cute. I love him so much. Okay, hello everyone, it's New. Today I am doing a little bit of a unhinged project because I feel like it. I have a lot of little bits and pieces of these sort of like yarn colors which I won't be able to turn into like bigger projects. Realistically speaking, I should be using them for my Granny Square series, but I got two fluffy new children in the mail yesterday. They are the cutest things I've ever seen in my entire life. I love them so much. If I had known that they were going to be fluffy when the pre-orders for these went up, I would probably have 8 new sons instead of just 2 because I love them. The Puppy M and Leave It ones especially. I would just am so bitterly regretful that I do not own them, but you know. These are very, very cute. And I keep seeing, okay, here's my thought process. A lot of people have like beautiful like K-pop merch shelves and I don't have that because I'm a hot mess. But maybe one day I will. That's the dream, okay? And I was thinking, what would be the cutest way to display these little guys if I had a K-pop merch shelf? Now they're pilots. They're working men. So I'm thinking pilots need a plane. So I'm gonna crochet my small sons a plane to sit in. And then one day when I have that K-pop shelf, I'm gonna put my tiny sons in their tiny plane and it's gonna be adorable. So first thing I'm gonna do, this is completely on the fly, I'm gonna do a cockpit for my little sons to sit in. So this is kind of the inspo. This is just like a toy plane that I googled. This is basically the inspo. So we're gonna do the cockpit first, just so that I can like build around that. I've never done anything like this. It might be a bad idea, but we're gonna give it a go anyway. So I can't find my 3.5mm hook. I never can. I have 2 full sets of crochet hooks and I can never find this 3.5mm hook. So we're gonna go with a 4 and we might have to change directions pretty quickly, but let's just see what happens. Let's just see what we can do. So I'm gonna start off with not a magic ring because I don't feel like it. Just gonna start off with 4 chains and then back into the beginning here and 6 crochets inside the sky. So 1 like so, 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, so I'm gonna go back into that first stitch. I'm just making a circle, so I'm gonna 2 crochets into every one of these until I have 12 stitches. Okay, so that should be 12. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12. Is that big enough for my small son's butts? Probably not. So look. Yeah. Even if you like squish it down, I don't think it's gonna be big enough. So maybe we'll do 2 more rows. What does that bring us to? So 36 stitches, and then that should be big enough for the cockpit, hopefully. Okay, so we have a circle and that seems like it's gonna comfortably accommodate my fluffy son. So now what I'm going to start doing is just I've increased in every row at this point, which is how it's like flat, right? So now I'm going to start not increasing. I'm just going to start making like a little cup basically for my small son to sit into. So it's probably just going to be maybe 6 rows up. I'll do that and then I'll come back and I'll show you what I land on. But just to show you what I'm doing, it's just crocheting in every stitch all the way around without increasing. When I was imagining it, I was imagining a smaller kind of cockpit situation, but we gotta get all that booty in there, so we can't really go any smaller, otherwise they will not fit inside, which would be a shame. going through all this effort to make them a whole plane and then they can't even get in there. So I'm probably going to do that 5 or 6 more times until we have a little cup, and then I'll come back and I'll show you where I land. Okay, here's the thing. This is about 4 rows up, right? My little cup for my little dudes. And I'm concerned by how holy this is, because I'm going to be stuffing this. I don't really want the stuffing to be visible. And like I said, I cannot find my 3.5. This is a 4mm. This is a 3mm. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to frog this, and then I'm going to do it again. Everything exactly the same, but with a 3mm. And then I'll also have the added benefit of being like a little bit smaller, because I think this little cup that we've made might be maybe a little bit too big for my fluffy son. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to frog it. I'm going to do the circle and then come up 6 rows with the 3mm hook, and then I'll come back and I'll show you where I land. Happier with this. There's less sort of holes in it. This is again 36 stitches, 6 rows with increases. If you want to know how to do a circle like this, I show you how to do it in the dome beanie tutorial I have on my channel. Just if you're a beginner crocheter and you're really desperate to follow along. The only thing I am going to change this time though is I'm going to crochet in the front loop only. Reason being, last time we kind of got like a curvy dome situation, and I kind of want more of a like cup. So by crocheting in the front loop only, it's going to create sort of like a, I'll show you. I will show you what I mean. So I'm only picking up the front loop of this stitch, and this is how you kind of get like a sharp corner slash turn when you're crocheting, as opposed to a dome. Okay, so see here, you can see that this is like, oh, it's really hard to show you on camera. There's more of a like a 90-degree angle rather than like a curving dome, because I'm only putting them in that front stitch. Slip stitch into that first stitch like so. Alright, now we have more of a little sort of cockpit area. Is this too small now that I've used the small hook? Potentially, but this being soft and stretchy and squishy, and the toy being soft and squishy and stretchy, I feel like we will make it work. So I'm gonna do, you know, like 5 or 6 rows until we get some height on this and like a little cup for our dude to sit in, and then I'll come back and I'll show you where I land. How about that? Yay! I don't know why this hurts me, but I don't like cutting tags off. There we go. Okay, well, goodbye tags. It's a cute little one. Alright, so I've had to cut his tag off just to see if he will fit in here. So this is 6 rows, and his little arms sort of peek out over the top. So I think this might be a good place to land. This is making me think that making a hot air balloon would also be extremely cute. Oh, you could hang them from your ceiling. Oh, that would be so cute if you had like a little plane and then a hot air balloon for the other one. Anyway, so that's part 1. We've got our little basket cockpit sort of situation for our dude, and so now I'm basically gonna make this same exact shape, except probably a little bit bigger, one more time to make the front of the plane. Now if you are a experienced amigurumi crochet person and you think the way that I'm going about this is utterly insane, I respect that a lot. I respect that deeply. I'm sure it potentially is, but anyway, again, this is the inspo, so I'm not gonna go into this like, you good, bro? Okay, I think doggos have calmed down. So basically, I'm gonna, this shape at the front here, I'm gonna do this one more time, except I'm gonna do it in this like creamy white color, just for the front bit, I think. I'm basically planning, I think, on doing the whole body, and then coming back and adding the wings and like the fins and You can tell I know a lot about planes. I'm so sorry. Plane people. Okay, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do this front cap bit, which is exactly the same as this, except I think I'm gonna do a little bit bigger. So I'll check and I'll let you know how I go with that. Okay, so this is 8 rows, which would make it 50? What is 8 rows? 8 times 6, what is it? So this is 8 rows and 48 stitches, and so now what I'm going to do is, instead of going into the front loop, this is the front loop, which is, you know, how we got this shape. I'm going to go into the back loop so that the nice side is at the front, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna do that all the way around and then show you what it looks like at the end. Ma'am. Ma'am. Ma'am, are you done? Ma'am. Ma'am. Okay. So I think what I'm gonna do is, because I have these sort of colors, right? I'm not sure I want to incorporate all of them. Okay, I think I want to put a stripe in yellow maybe, and then go into blue for the body. Just, you know, just for some color variation. If you look at this one, you know, having more colors in it is fun. I don't think I'm gonna do like a bottom side one color and the top side the other color, because that's more maths than I feel like doing today. So I'm gonna do, I think, this technique that I've seen on reels or shorts or whatever, where you change your color in the last stitch and it gives you like a better color change. Because usually when you change colors, you can sort of see this, the new color reaching down into the old color. You know what I mean, hopefully. So apparently how you do it is you go into this stitch as usual like this, but instead of pulling through with the white, you're going to take your new color and pull through with the new color, and apparently that will ease the transition. I don't know. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to slip stitch this yellow in, and that's going to be like our slips. What am I talking about? That's gonna be our like chain 1 to start the new row. And then I'm gonna go into this first stitch and then yarn over in the white, come up, yarn over in the yellow. Next stitch, oh gosh, this is fiddly, yarn over in the white, and then yarn over, pull through, yarn over in the yellow. Next stitch, yarn over in the white, pull through, yarn over in the yellow. So I think that gives it like a more sort of seamless transition, even if it is kind of annoying. You only gotta do it for one row, right? And then you get better results. So I'll suck it up. It's fine. I can do this. I'm trying to figure out if I like this or not. I probably have to play with it a little bit more before I know. Okay. It'd be interesting to see what it looks like once you move up a row and then just start going in the yellow. So I'm gonna keep going and then come back and show you what happened, what's happening. I wonder if I should tie these together. I know people always say with crocheting that you shouldn't tie them together, you should sew in your ends, but I hate sewing in ends, don't like it. Okay, so I'm gonna join to this first stitch. Oh, this is the wrong hook. My bad. I was on the phone with my grandmother, so I got a bit distracted. Alright, I'm gonna go in there. Oh no. I'm trying to pick up just the yellow, not the white. That probably doesn't matter. You know what? It probably does matter, because the whole point is that you're trying not to cross-contaminate your colors. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I'm gonna chain one, and then I'm just gonna crochet into the yellow, and hopefully all of that fiddling around means that we have a nice, clean color change. It'd be nice if that works. Oh yeah, it's a pretty nice color change. Yeah, that works. Cool. It's exciting stuff. Okay, so that's what our color change looks like. I'm really happy with that. That looks great. Whoever came up with that and put it on TikTok or Reels or Shorts or whatever, good job. Thank you very much. So I think this sort of round that I'm working with right now, it has 48 stitches. So I think what I'm gonna do is reduce or decrease down to 42 stitches, because I want to gradually begin tapering the body. I kind of also like the idea of it being this big kind of bulbous thing at the front that sort of tapers down really quickly at the back, because I think that like chubby sort of shape will be cute. So maybe I will decrease 3 times and bring this from 48 stitches to 45 stitches. I think that's what I'm going to do. So that means that I'm going to do 8 stitches and then do 6 stitches and a decrease. 8 stitches, 6 stitches and a decrease, 8 stitches, 6 stitches and a decrease. And that's how I'm going to reduce this by 3 stitches. Again, my tail's in there. So that's what I'm going to go ahead and do, and then I'm going to see what it looks like and if I like it, because that's the thing with making a pattern on the fly. You just gotta experiment and see if you like things, and be willing to frog things if it doesn't work. So 6, and then there should be 8 stitches left in this row if I've done my maths correct. So 3, 4, 5, 6. Ooh, we've done it. We've done the math correctly. Success. So that should leave us with 45 stitches. I should write this stuff down, otherwise I'm going to get confused later. But do I have a pen and paper immediately on hand? No. So, okay. I'll do that in a second. So this is what we've landed at. We have our thing here. You can sort of see that this is tapered in a little bit. I think I'm pretty happy with that. I only kind of wanted a stripe of this color. So I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do the same thing with this yellow and what I did here. Except I'm going to do it with the blue. So I'm going to change it to blue, and blue is going to be the body of the plane. I'm not sure I'm actually going to enjoy that. I'm really liking the white and the yellow together. But yeah, I think blue is going to work. The yellow, I kind of really like the idea of little buckery, because he matches the yellow. Ooh. Oh my god, I'm a fully grown woman. Okay, so yeah, we're going to do the color changing here. I'm going to do 45 stitches. I'm not going to mess with the stitches. Gonna slip stitch in here with the blue. Not even slip stitch, I'm just gonna like shove it in there. Chuck the tail out the back. I just realized that I've been whinging about the tails, and it's not really gonna matter because I think I can just get away with leaving them because I'm gonna stuff the inside and it doesn't matter. So we're gonna do the yellow on the bottom and the blue on the top, and we're gonna do that for 45 stitches all the way around, and then I'll come back and show you what's going on. Gonna do another round of blue and come back and show you. Okay, I've done some maths. I have 2 rows of blue. And so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna do 18 single crochets. Whoops. 1. And so at this point it's time to like try and put our little cockpit in. So I'm gonna start off with 18 single crochets. Okay, so now I have 18, and that's gonna bring us sort of like almost halfway. And then I'm gonna take this dude, I'm gonna go into this first stitch and also into one of these stitches on our little basket. So we're essentially attaching the basket to the plane basket, you know, like the cockpit. So we have 1, we're only gonna do 9 stitches. Make sure I get the right ones. 2, 3. Oh, have I been out of shot this whole time? Oh my gosh. So very sorry. 9. I don't know how much of that was in shot. Apologies for that. So now our little thing is attached. So it's essentially going to be a circle at the bottom and a square at the top, because I just don't have the brain right now to figure out how to put a circle into the top of this, and I figure a square will work just as well. So now that I've attached this one 9 stitches across, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, I'm gonna crochet as normal for the remaining hopefully 18 stitches, if I've done my math correctly. Let's quickly breeze through that and see what happens. 17. I'm fudging it a little bit. 18. I think I cheap yarn. Oh, you fail me. Okay, this one, and then join them together. Okay. So now this is the vision. Can you see where we're going with this? This is the vision, right? So I think what I'm going to do now is 9 rows of blue. It might be easier just to start here and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and end up over here, rather than trying to start from here and come up and then back over, and you know, we'll have some like row issues if I do that. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to tie off down here. Give that a little bit of a snip. Pass it through there, pull, shove it inside like the rest of my sins. I'm gonna stuff the front of this friend a little bit, just because I worry that I'm gonna struggle to get access to it later on. This is like a cushion that I've had in my apartment for a million years that's been just falling to bits, so I just have been stealing fluff from it every time I try and do something. So I'm gonna just slip stitch into that first available stitch on the side of the basket, and then I'm gonna crochet straight into this stitch here. I feel like this side of the basket is gonna look a little bit nasty by the time I'm finished, so I might have to put like a decorative thing around the side. But yeah, we should just do 36 stitches. Okay, so I've done this is the 36th stitch here. I'm just single crocheting in there, and then I'm gonna find the first unused stitch on the side of the cockpit and slip stitch into that one, and then one more time slip stitch into the second one. So I've attached to 2 on this side, and then I'm just going to turn around and crochet straight back into this one and do 36 stitches all the way back around. I'm just going to keep doing that until I have 9 rows. I did not need to put the fluff in there, so I think I'm going to take this out because it's just getting in my way now. Okay, we have got now like 9 rows attaching, and if I've done my math correct, there should be 9 stitches back here. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Let me put the stuffing back in there. As you can see, we have the cockpit in there ready to go, so I can fit in there. So yeah, I'm gonna cast off, and then I'm gonna go down to the bottom again because I'm gonna start crocheting in the round once more, and I don't want the seam to be on the side of the plane. I want it to be in the bottom. So I'm gonna count 18 stitches this way, one cast on in this 19th stitch here. Okay, so slip stitch in, single crochet 18, so once more into that same stitch. So 1 2, so now we want to do 9 on the back of this one. So 1, I'm going straight from this row into the back of our little cockpit. So 2 9, so we've incorporated that into the back of the or we've incorporated the back of the cockpit into the plane now. So now I'm going to go into the body for 18 stitches. Hopefully I can find 18 stitches, and I haven't. So there's 1 2 18. Yay! We have maintained our original 45 stitches. It's an accomplishment. The amount of times I had to undo rows and go back and redo them. I always say when I'm crocheting it doesn't matter, just do whatever. If you lose numbers, it's fine. But I wanted to be a little bit more accurate with it. Okay, so this is what the front of our plane is looking for. Oh, that's shaping up nicely. I'm pleased with that. I think what I'm going to do in the next row is I'm going to reduce by 3. So I'm going to bring my 45 stitches down to 42 stitches. And I'm going to start decreasing kind of more rapidly at this point, I think. Oh yeah, more stuffing in there, that looks better. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, this is great. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna start reducing, and then I'll come back and I'll show you where I landed. Pretty happy with that so far. Looking good. Okay, so all of these rows in the back I've been reducing by 3 stitches. So we're now down to 24 stitches, and the very back I think I'm just gonna turn it into a dome. What I'm gonna do as well is I've got this like shiny pop socket which I've not put on my phone because I am afraid of ruining it. I'm gonna shove that in there just to try and like keep that space occupied, and then I'm gonna put as much fluff as I can get in here without compromising the cockpit. I think when it comes to like amigurumi and little like plushies, the more stuffing the better, because it kind of gets, I mean, it fills the shape out better, but it also kind of gets squished down over time in my experience. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna reduce by 6, which means we're gonna have 24 stitches. The next row we're gonna go down to 18, 12, 6. So we've only got a couple more rows, very tiny rows left. And then we'll have our main body finished. So let's do that. Okay. So our cockpit is looking a little bit impeded upon. Honestly, you could just leave it because the point of it is to get this dude in here. And so like, once he's in there, you can't see that there's actually any problem with the cockpit. So I'm tempted to, I'm tempted to just leave it. Because honestly, having that much sort of fluff in there means that it's like really holding on to my tiny furry son. He's not going anywhere because of that. No, I mean, he kind of is if you shake it around too much. But I think another way you could get around it is if you could put some stitches here and here and sort of like, you know, stitch it to the sides of the plane, and then it'll be kind of tempted to stay open. But honestly, I think I'm gonna leave it just because it's intended for my little guy, and having a little of extra cushioning in there will just sort of keep him steady. So that means we get to move on to the propeller, the wheels, and the stuff at the back. I should know what these things are called, but for some reason it's escaping me, which is a little embarrassing. Anyway, I'm gonna do the wheels. Let's do that. It's just circles. It should be fairly easy. I have some wheels here, which I have just shoved onto my little airplane with a orange stick. I did these wheels. It's sort of 2 layers of circles that I crocheted together on the edges to give them a bit more like structure, so they're a little like you were able to put the weight of the plane on it basically. And I did them with the stripe on the outside. But the more I look at it, the more I feel like maybe I would prefer it if it were just the one color. So I'm gonna try turning it over, see if I like that better. We'll come back to that. So what I also did is I cut out some cardboard to sort of help keep the shape of the cockpit. This is wing number 1, which I did pretty much the exact same way as I did the body. It's just a little bit smaller, and I didn't do the back loop only situation that I did here to make this sort of more flat. So this is just a dome that's gone, that I've, if you like look at it, it's 3D. And the reason I did it this way was because, again, if you have 2 layers in it, it's got more stability, and you could put stuffing in it if you wanted to, but I do not think I'm going to do that. So this is how big I think I'm going to go with the wings. But I've been crocheting all day and my hands are starting to hurt, so I feel like it's probably a good time to call it a day and then come back to this tomorrow. Obviously for you guys, no time at all will pass because of the magic of editing. Good night. Good morning. I've been awake for a little while now, and I made the second wing, and I also figured out how I'm gonna make the propellers, even though they're a little bit wonky and they have lots of string coming out of them. So I've done 2. I guess I could do a 2 propeller plane and just call it a day, but I feel like I'm gonna do 3. Actually, I think the whole thing is called a propeller. I think these are blades. So I can do a 2 blade, but I'm gonna do a 3. How I've determined that I'm gonna do this is, initially I was gonna do like another tube like this, but I hate crocheting into a tiny tube. Like when you have to do like arms and legs for dolls. That's my least favorite part of doll making. So instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to chain 11. So 1, 2, 11. I might bring you in a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. So I've got 11. Get that out of the way. And then I'm going to skip the first chain and I'm going to crochet 9 single crochets. So 1, 9. So we have one more chain left, and in that last chain I'm going to single crochet 4 times into that same chain just to get around the corner, the top. We're turning around. That's 4, and then we're going to single crochet 9 back. 2, 9. Okay, so she's looking a little bit sad at the moment, but what we're going to do is tie off, and then we're going to do that exact same thing one more time, and then we're going to sandwich them together and crochet around the sides. This should give us a sturdier sort of blade. Honestly, probably would be best if I blocked my little pieces, but I am going to lunch with a friend and I kind of want to finish this before then. Whether that happens or not is another thing, but we're gonna try, which means we don't have time for blocking. Okay, so then I'm gonna chain 1 just to lose a turning sort of stitch. I'm going to turn it over. This is our bad side. Wrong sides together. Sandwiching them together. I'm going to go into the first stitch of the other propeller blade. And the first stitch of this one. And then I'm going to single crochet them together. So come over here, second stitch. Second stitch. Oh, am I going off screen again? Uh-oh. Third stitch in there, and then third stitch in the back there. I'm going to do that 10 stitches up. So this is the 4th one. Okay, so the 10th stitch is the first one of those 4 that we did at the end last time. And so, and the 2 stitches at the very end here, so the 11th stitch, we're going to put an increase, which means 2 single crochets into the same stitch. So 1, 2, and then the next stitch, same thing, 2 single crochets, 1, 2, and then 10 stitches back. I'm gonna tie off this one. Probably gonna get a darning needle and like shove those 2 up inside the propeller. These ones are gonna go into the front of the plane like so, and I need like the thing. This is the extent of my plane knowledge. I need a axle. I don't know, the thing that holds these together at the front. I need to make that. It's like a little bump, and then I also need to make these dudes on the back. So there's gonna be 2 on the side and 1 on the top. So the 2 on the side, I think I'm gonna make exactly the same way as I made this one, just like a little shorter. And then this guy at the back, I have an idea for, so I'm gonna experiment a little bit with that. And then I guess it'll be time to start sewing everything together. It's pretty exciting. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and then I'll come back and report in with what I figure out. Hello there. Somewhat irresponsibly, past Niw has left editing Niw to finish out explaining how I made this plane. Apparently, I was more interested in getting lunch than talking to the camera. In my defense, I think I was getting shabu shabu, which yum. So I made a little white cone to finish the propeller, and then I made a rectangle decreasing on either end as I went until I'd gotten a shape that sloped on either side. A trapezium, Google is telling me, is what that is. I folded that shape in half and then crocheted over the top and down the side, and that was the back finger finished. Again, like all the other pieces, it was double thickness because I did it this way when you're folding it in half. Then all that was left to do was to assemble my plane. I just got a darning needle and whip stitched all the pieces on in a matching color. There's nothing really polished about this process. Fortunately, if you don't go too wild, the stitches should just disappear into the pieces. Filming this process was actually a nightmare and a half because I was trying to pin the body down with my arm while I like stitched different pieces on. Just, you know, be patient with it, it'll work out if you just keep at it. I actually ended up finishing sewing on a few of the pieces at a cafe with my friend after we had lunch, and we filmed some reveal shots with my soft fluffy sons and her soft fluffy son. So happy news, I adopted a third son since filming this video, so now Wolfchan, Bokari and Puppy M have shared custody of this plane. I realize we went a little off the handle at the end of this video, so if you wanted to recreate this project but you're totally lost about anything I did here, please don't hesitate to ask in the comments. I'm very happy to help. I'm also trying to think of different color combos I could try for this plane, or even different accessories for my tiny furry sons. So if you have any suggestions, I would also love to hear those. As always, I hope everyone's having a great week. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye!